Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with Brooklyn's own Rayan Lawrence, who plays K9 in the STARZ hit series BMF. Get ready for season 2. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
No, thanks for joining. And I spoke to some of your co-stars as well. It seems like you guys are having a lot of fun on that set, and it's really fun to see the pictures and stuff like that. And you guys, it seems like you guys are all genuine friends. Like this is a very bonding experience.
Yeah, it's definitely family oriented. I say
Yeah.
that's what Big Meech was about. What I mean, Black Mafia family. So
Hmm.
what I mean, it was a family. I mean, working on set with everybody.
Yeah, like I think like yeah, ironically it does reflect that exactly. And I enjoyed speaking to all of your co-stars as well. And I think that what's so interesting about your character, K9, is that I don't think people are really ready for like the explosion of how they're going to feel. Like this is when you can always tell when something's about to be a moment. And so how does that feel for you in the moment and knowing that knowing that it's you?
You mean in the moment as I was at while I was filming the character?
Well, you know what? As you're filming, you're kind of seeing how things build out and just seeing
Yeah,
how they focus on the character, who your character is, central to the plot. And
yeah,
I guess there's gonna be people that will be fans of K9 for sure. Then there's gonna be
yeah.
people that's gonna feel like K9 is, like the evil villain of the plot. But I think in a way that's kind of fun to root for. But I will say he's a psychopath.
He's just,
Had to
he's
put that out there.
one minute he's doing this, one minute he's doing that. You just never
You
know
just
where he's going.
never know. But I mean, I guess it's one of those things. I guess because I watched the first 3 episodes of the second season. I got lucky.
Right.
But you I think what's interesting about people and their motivations is that even if you wouldn't make the same decisions that they would make, you can understand where they're coming from.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So I want to talk about you a little bit more. So I did say you were from
Yes.
Brooklyn. I definitely have to shout that out. But you're
Oh,
also Jamaican, right?
yeah, I am Jamaican. Yes, I am. You
What
already
part of
know.
Brooklyn? What part of Brooklyn are you from?
I'm from Flatbush, Brooklyn, from Lenox, born and
You're
raised.
from Lennox.
Lenox. You already know.
But see, that's because everybody from Flatbush always says they're from Flatbush before they say they from Brooklyn. So
Yeah,
had I asked
true.
you where
They
you was
let you
from,
know.
I know. Had I asked you where you was from first, you would have said Flatbush. I
Yeah,
know
they
that.
said Flatbush. And you already know that Da Vinci's from Flatbush too.
I know that for sure. I've actually it was so funny because yesterday was the second time I talked to Da Vinci.
Yeah.
And I had asked him, and I'm asking you the same question. I was like, Da Vinci, like what you think about, like New York versus LA and everything like that? He's like,
Uh-huh.
bro, like keep me out of New York. Like LA is cool. I was like, you don't want to move back in Flatbush? That was like one of the first. He's like, no, I'm good. What about you? What is your compare
Yo,
and contrast?
New York is about the hustle and the grind, the daily
Yeah.
grind. You know what I'm saying? Very cold. Out here, to me, LA is laid back. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You got the palm trees and all this type of stuff, and sun consistently every day. So
Hmm.
that's the major differences. But if we're talking about, like, I mean, New York, the city that never sleeps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everybody's on the streets all day, every day. Out here, what I mean, certain time of the night, you ain't seeing nobody on the streets. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the major differences.
That's my only criticism of LA. Like I feel like with LA, like yes, things do shut down early, but it doesn't to me, it doesn't mean that LA sleeps. You just gotta know somebody who knows somebody so you know where everybody's awake at. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, why do I have to put in 8 different phone calls so I can hang out?
The after party, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's the after parties. And I'm like, yo, y'all not sleeping. You just have to
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah,
So LA is very unique in that way. And you're right.
it
With New
is.
York, at least, you kind of just can just move around and find your way. But I do want to ask you too, just before we get more into the show,
Of course.
there's a couple of things I think that people would want to know because you're a working actor and you've done so many different diverse roles. Um, would you say that, like with the people were, I've asked people about the self-tape era, like when COVID came around and you kind of had to audition at home versus in-person audition. Did you find that to be challenging? Did you welcome it? Was it rewarding for you?
At first,
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would really really love it. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I could be at home and I can put the stuff on tape and submit it, but it's pretty hard. Like
Yeah.
you gotta remember, you looking back at your audition tape to send to the casting director or whoever, and so it's taking you 3 hours. You got to set up the lights. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you're doing self tapes at home, you know what I mean, or you
Mm-hmm.
can go to somebody, go to the studio where it's already set up. But at first, I thought I would like it, but it's a lot of work.
Right.
When we were able to go in person, you can get, the direct change of direction from the casting director or the producer or the director. You know what I mean? So in person, you was able to do that. But when it's on tape, you sending it, you might not get a call back or anything. But I've noticed sometimes if you send a tape, you can be right on and they book you just from the tape.
Okay.
Before when you go in, you have to pre-read. Then you got to come back and meet the producers, and then you get the test. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of layers to it. But sometimes with self-tape, you knock out the part, boom, you got the role. You don't got to come back and audition. So it's a lot of work though. If you're doing it, if you built your own studio, you're doing it by yourself, you're gonna take a couple hours to do it.
Yeah, I've got some friends who've asked me to like read for them, be like, yo, read the lines. And I'm just like, okay, now, hello, Sally did this and that. Like, I'm just like, okay, shut up and listen to what I have to say.
Exactly.
Yes, I've definitely tried to help people out. I'm kidding. I don't read like that. I'm an avid reader. Don't even try.
You know you be killing it.
No, yeah, right. Like, don't play me like that, Flatbush. Do not do me like that. But I want to talk more about this role that you have here in BMF as K9. And so, just again going back into it, we were first really introduced. There was an introduction in the first season.
Yes.
Yeah, and then it just ramps up in this season. Were you expecting it to become this?
I didn't actually.
Oh wow.
I'll tell you the story. So, when I got the call that I was coming back for season 2, I was like, cool. I'm excited. All right, coming back and recurring. But I didn't know it was gonna be this heavy.
Like this, yeah.
When I get on set and I meet the director Slick and Meech, I'm like, oh. Just what we doing.
Right.
So I ain't gonna lie, I got real nervous, and I was like, man, this is gonna be pretty tough. And so you like, yo, man, I'm about to be in front of 50 Cent doing this table read, and yo, I need to be on point. So at that time, I was like, I got to get my coach involved. You know what I mean? So Sheik is my coach from Sheik Studios, and when we got together and started putting our work on it, by the time I was at the table read, literally, I was like, I put everybody on notice that, yo, I'm gonna bring it this season. You know what I mean? So, and I was so confident in that table read to where you had STARZ and people like, yo, from that day forward, everybody's like, yo, K9 is here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was from getting that coaching and us getting down and getting the research in and putting in the work.
So I think what's important about what you just said is that you were able to call your acting coach. There's a level of humility there. You weren't too arrogant, right? You called somebody that you knew you could depend on to make sure that, that things would be great as far as the read. But then you were confident because you knew your abilities, and that's when you were able to show up and to obviously embody that role of K9. I wonder too, though, because again, this man is from Flatbush. You've seen things that a lot of people have not necessarily seen, and I don't know your life like that, but I know what's going on. So I'm saying that, like, did you have to kind of like maybe pull in, even in doing your research, were there some parallels or things that you have to just pull from what you have seen in your life to take on and embody this role?
Yeah, I think, you know what I mean? Like you said, being from the streets of Flatbush, you've been a lifestyle, you've seen it. So you being able to pull on that, and I think it was a lot of things that came into it, to really get really deep into it. I also was able to get my boys sending me prayers every day. You know what I'm saying? That helped. You know what I mean? The prayers to get into the role. My sister would pray for me before every scene. Every day would pray for me. You know what I mean? So I think that was able to happen. I had similarities with K9 and myself to where, if I feel disrespected, we don't have a problem. He take it to another level than I would take it to.
Right.
But that's different. Then when it comes to the jury and, you know what I mean? And, dressing nice and stuff like that, I like to do that, and K9 is about that life.
Yeah.
I used to play basketball at a really good level, and K9 was a street legend. So I had a lot of similarities to K9, so I was able to bring that towards and developing this character, who's a real person.
Yeah, no, that's true too. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I know that they actually do consult with Meech and Terry, the real people for this series. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Then you have, of course, Lil Meech on there as well. So it's just, and I even asked him, I'm like, yo, this is your father's life. Like, how did that feel? He's like, yo, I'm just like looking. He's like, same thing. He's looking at the past and he's in it. But you mentioned something about costumes and everything, and the jury and everything. How did that feel to have on like that 80s swag? Because some of that stuff, I would wear today. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. Yo, so
Yeah.
Kia, our costume designer, she hooked us up. You know what I mean? She had me in Gucci. You know what I mean? With the fun, you know what I mean? The nice outfits, the minks, and all that type of stuff. And you know, some of my people was like, "Yo, this is she with everyday faces," because I was like the dress too. So for me to be able to put on that '80s swag, you know, it was especially the Detroit style. Because remember, this is New York.
True.
Where I'm from Brooklyn, and then there's the Detroit style. So for me to be able to put on that Detroit style 80s clothing, you know what I mean? That was an amazing feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, Detroit, they definitely have their own swag. Like at this point now, I can kind of tell like Detroit style because they also wear those glasses. I forget what they call them.
Yeah, they have those big Jalen Rose. I got them too.
Jalen Rose wears them.
Right, Jalen Rose is in the show. You know what I mean? We happy to have him in the show as well. Is he wear these big glasses? Matter of fact, and Meech wore them in, I want to see episode 4, season 1. I have those too. These Gucci frames as they fly. You know what I mean? So I had got them with them on there. I said, Jalen, man, you rocking the same glasses I got. And I remember Meech was rocking it in season 1. I was like, that's crazy. Because I didn't remember when Meech wore them or when Jalen Rose had them.
Right.
Later,
You're like, no, that's a Detroit, that's just a Detroit style thing for sure. Yeah, and I've been out there. No, Detroit people are mad cool too. So I saw on your Instagram that y'all got a plane, y'all got the PJ to go out to Detroit, right? So you filmed in Detroit, and go ahead, tell me about that, please. I need to know.
So we were able to film both in Atlanta and Detroit, and they bought, 50 Cent and Randy, chartered a plane, just like Big Meech did. Right. He took everybody from Cancun when he came out the pen.
When he took all them strippers and
everybody to Cancun. So they took all of us, the whole cast and crew to Detroit. And I mean, that experience, man, like it was like we even got closer together, you know what I mean? Because I come from basketball lifestyle, so I come from a sports mentality. So, we go and we play a away team. All of us is jail. We feel like it's us against the world. So us over there going to Detroit was just a feeling like we was in a hotel hanging out. Every day we would hang out, and we just even got even closer, And what was ironic about the whole situation, the irony about the whole situation, I was able to actually meet K9's family.
Really? What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing.
Wow.
It was amazing. I got to meet his son. I got to meet K9's wife, K9's girl, like everybody. K9's brother called me on FaceTime, so I was able to meet them, and they showed support. Like, was like, yo, we know. They just I've had that feeling of, from KK, his brother. You know what I mean? I had the feeling to play his dad, Lawrence, and K9's real name is Lawrence. My last name is Lawrence, so the synergy is crazy. You know what I'm saying? For all of them to support me, even his other son will support me since season 1. He DM'd me, was like, yo, you're Lawrence. I already know you go bring it. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so nice.
So that was cool to get the love from the family.
Oh, wow. I'm telling you, there's not one person that I've spoken to, because I've spoken to people not only on this show, but also like with the documentaries and things like that. But there's not one person that's drawn from this experience in like a directing capacity, acting, anything like that, or anybody that I've interviewed that's looked into different, like that's in a different phase of their life now, as opposed to like where they were before, that hasn't drawn something positive, from the experience, regardless of all kinds of things. I mean, nothing is completely good or bad, right? There's like a spectrum of stuff,
Exactly.
Yeah. Then, as you know, Mr. from Lennox.
Sometimes you got to draw some of the good, the good out the bad. You know what I'm saying? Like I always tell people, walk by faith and not by sight. You know what I mean? You got to look for the light in the darkness. And one of the matter of fact, the things while I was developing this character was I was listening also to DMX every day. The things that DMX was saying in his rhymes, this dude K9 was living this. So I already knew from day one, DMX was that guy to listen to. You know what I mean? Like his real name is Dogg.
Yeah.
DMX. You know what I mean? DMX is about that bark. So that was something I was able to draw from listening to DMX and also throughout it, sometimes, I was getting so much support from the cast and crew. Sometimes you don't want to get complacent, but you want to be able to keep delivering the way you were. So sometimes that could have been the pressure, right? So you hear every day, yo, K9, you killing it.
Yeah.
And make you not really go in. But I also brought that Kobe mentality, the mama mentality of you ain't done till you at the end. You know what I mean? So until I was at the end was when I was able to, all right, I need to, now I can get out of the character because I came and I did my job for 5 months.
So you're more mama mentality. You're not gonna do the AI practice. Like I gotta come to that. I ain't practice.
Exactly. Yeah. We was practicing. Me and my coach was like, "Yo, we gotta go in, man." You know what I mean? Because sometimes some actors don't know. You're like this role they could have easily. You know what I mean? That's when 50 Cent was out there in Detroit. I got to speak to 50 for like 20, a good 20, 30 minutes, and he kept it real. It was like, man, he knows talent, and I was like, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity because you could have easily got a name for this role easily.
Yeah, get this particular type of name or whatever bankable person. Right. And even if that person maybe didn't even have the acting prowess that you do, I mean, unfortunately that's just the way the world works.
That's how it works.
Yeah. But 50 knows he has an ear and an eye for that.
He do, and I appreciate that. Like, man, he got to get his flowers just like we give Tyler Perry his flowers.
I wonder though, like I said, I'm trying to ask this question the right way, and I kind of try to hint at it, and I think you're trying to skirt around it. But like I said, with this particular character, like I said, with the development of season 2, it is going to be very clear. Like it's going to feel, I think, this is just my prediction and just my opinion. I think you can see it, that it's going to, you've worked very hard for over a decade. So this man is not new to this at all. But it's going to seem to some people like an overnight kind of boom. Because this show is such a crazy success. People are obsessed with all things BMF. And like I said, the character of K9 has such a strong role and is such a feature player in this show. Are you prepared for what this is going to do to your life? Because you used to be able to walk through Flatbush mind your business a little bit. You're not going to be able to do that in January. You're just not going to be able to do that. Is that a good thing or is it a weird thing?
You know what? I'm actually, embracing what's gonna happen. I'm not too hype. I'm not too low. I'm right even keel. And because I've been in the game for a minute. You know what I mean? I had a time where I thought, oh, it's about to be it. And it didn't happen. But then years later, I get this opportunity again. But it keeps you humble, and I'm glad that experience happened before because I don't know how I would have taken this experience now. You know what I mean? Sometimes if we come into this game, we get too excited, our bubble get burst. You know what I mean? It can mess up your psyche in this game.
Yeah.
And before when I had the little stumble in my career, I took it in the chin. I was like, oh, I was up. I made a little 5-minute video with you catching my IG, and I told people I'm built for this. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I have my faith, and I'm gonna have that opportunity present itself again. And this is the opportunity. So I'm ready for what's to come. Not too high, not too low. We'll see what happens.
No, you actually have a wonderful attitude and outlook. You really, really do. Yeah. And I mean, even just the way you talk about your family, your acting coach, the people that are around you, embracing friendships, having that conversation. 50 Cent ain't about to sit here and talk 20, 30 minutes with somebody for no reason. Right?
That's true.
That man ain't got that kind of time to just be just shit chatting. You know what I mean? So,
he ain't got that time.
He ain't got that time. So yeah, right. I mean, I think that obviously just and I have to say this too. I wanted to compliment you because it's so interesting because I was like, I thought when I saw your name too, I thought you looked familiar. Like I thought I knew you, and I was like, don't one of the homies know Rayan? Like, do I know him from around the way? Like, did I see him on Fulton and No String? Like, it was like one of the it was so crazy. But then I was going through all of your work, and I'm like, yo, like this man plays such different roles in such different ways that like you're really good at not being typecast in that way. Like, you do your gangster stuff. I saw the pimp footage and everything. So I know I know what's going on. But even like when you were, like you were really just kind of like you even got excited as a fan, but it's like, yo, you earned the role when you were opposite Tom Selleck. And I was like,
thank you.
And that character is completely different from that, right? The kind of, that's clean shaven and it's just a little bit more proper. But like I said, everybody can't do that. So I think it's amazing that you've taken on the roles that you have. Do you have anything else that you're working on that you want to talk about, that you can talk about?
Yeah, I'm gonna have another project after BMF is done called First Come Love, Then Come Murder. It's a TV1 movie directed by Emmy award-winning director Bobby Yan. So that one is gonna be pretty dope. I'm the lead actor in that, and it's gonna be a nice thriller. kind of get to give you that that lifetime kind of vibe, you know what I mean? And my mom's always had me watch Lifetime movies, so
That's my favorite.
you know what I'm saying, right? So to be able to do a movie that caliber, you know, for her, I'm excited for her to see it. It's a nice thriller, you know what I mean? You go see me a certain way, but I might not be that way, you know?
Right.
So, you know, once you guys watch it and see, you'll see what I mean.
And let me ask you this, just before we even wrap, like, what was the last day job that you had before you got, you know, like where you didn't have to do it no more?
Yeah. Oh, last day job was actually T-Mobile.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And T-Mobile was cool. You know, I give them a shout out because, you know, working with them, you know, being part-time there, you was making a good amount of commission. So I was able to make my commission. I didn't have to go and be at the bars, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or weighing, busting tables. I didn't have to do that. I could be there, you know, and work my shifts was evening shifts 4 to 8. They will let me do my auditions. They'll let me do projects where I had to take time off. So, you know, it showed a lot of love. I was able to stack some bread, you know what I mean, at the same time. So yeah, that was the one.
So what are your old coworkers like? Well, not even just your coworkers, but all your friends and everything like that. Like, what do they think about you now? Like, they always knew you were still hustling and doing the acting and working, and now it's like you're full blown in this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I like about my friends is they're like the groupie type, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, Ray, you on this, and there. They was there like, yo, okay. You still rating me. You know
exactly, right.
TV, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, now that they've seen the work that I put in, and matter of fact, they was a big part in me also in my confidence to be able to play K9 because they was in my ear too. They was like, yo, bro, like, you've been doing this for a minute. And this was when I initially got it, right?
Yeah.
They was like, bro, you've been doing this for a minute, bro. This is just on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? And so they just didn't like, yo, man, I'm happy for you. I can't wait to see what's happening because you've been putting in the work, you know, and to see them being there and just being by my side and look at me as the same person that they seen yesterday versus tomorrow, right? You know, and I appreciate that because that keeps you good too. Because if people are too like, you know, oh, you know, because your movie this and that, then you know you don't know what they're here for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but
that's
the real
true.
ones is gonna tell you what it is.
Well, I think I'll tell you what, I think from your background, because you're first generation too, so I think you're probably going to be, you know, I think with some of us, you know, Caribbean, African background, stuff like that too, you can be a little bit more discerning. You come from background where your parents instill in you, like, you just have to be watchful and understand, like, you know, what people's motivations are. And like you said, you keep the faith and things like that. So I don't think that you'll have any problem sort of figuring out that, like, I know what this person's here for. They're not really here for me. You know?
Exactly. That's true.
Yeah, but speaking of that, go ahead.
Sure. I think I have that discernment as well, you know what I mean, to be able to really read people, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you put them in the acquaintance box versus this my people's right here.
Right, like, yeah, it's no beef, exactly. It's just that, you know, sometimes it just, you know, it's you know, it's I get it. Yeah.
As you see with K9, you see with Meech, which, you know what I mean, I think Meech learned a good amount from K9 is having your close-knit people around you, you know what I mean? As you'll see, my cousin is my right-hand guy, and then now Meech comes in, and I feel he's family. I take him under my wing this season and kind of show him, you know, how K9 came up in the streets.
But the thing is, but to your point, K9 was more like Meech, like relaxed, like not yet kind of thing. Exactly. It took a long time for him to, But Meech was so eager at that point because you don't even realize like how young that they were when they were doing all of this.
He was eager to get to the top and his drive, you know what I mean? And you know, you never want to glorify you know, doing drugs, but what I'm saying, whatever you want to do in life, you know, put in the work, you know what I'm saying, and have that drive, you know what I mean, and whatever you feel you're good at, you keep going hard, and then eventually it's gonna come, you know, like Denzel had that saying, right? If you're in a barbershop long enough, you're gonna eventually get a haircut. You know what I mean?
That's a good one.
Eventually somebody gonna show you some love. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you just keep that attitude and positive things and stay close to God, of course, and you know, things happen.
Oh, I know what I meant to ask you. This is the last thing, and I'm gonna let you go. What is the craziest thing that you bought since you got, you know, you don't have to have, you know, 9 to 5 budgets anymore? Just something where you were like, no, come on, Rayan, like, did I really buy this?
Yo,
have you gone there yet?
Listen, because here's the thing, I shop a lot. So
Oh,
I
you
literally,
anyway. So that's what you
like,
do.
yo, I like literally, I be shopping. Like I told you how much I probably spent. Yo, the other day,
Oh
I be
my
walking
God.
out.
Tell me more.
Yeah, no, I just you know what I mean. I be going to get my little, get my little ball man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
Right here, Louis right here. This,
oh Lord. You're like price tag, what price tag? I deserve
yeah,
this.
right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why they say more money, more problems. Because your budget, you know what I'm saying? Like you looking at something like I guess I'm gonna spend a max 200 here. You know what I mean? Now you like, oh, it's a G.
No,
Let's ring it up.
no, you would be so. This is the problem. I think that men need to think about this. You'd be
Yeah,
so disappointed in me because I'm the type of girl where I will shop at Rainbow. I'll shop at Fashion Nova. I'm like my whole entire outfit would be like $25. Now I might put something into the shoes or the accessories, but y'all be really wearing like $1,000 outfits, and the girl be having on $38 head to toe.
y'all look good in it. Y'all look good in it though.
But I feel like y'all could look good at H&M too. Y'all just don't want to do that.
Listen, now, I still rock H&M here and there for sure. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something nice from H&M, I'm a rock it. Like, if I walk up in there, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a quick shopper. I'll walk up in there, they got to pop. So, Express too, I wear like, you see a lot of the suits that I have. Those are Express men, and you know what I'm saying. And,
oh, by the way, I saw how they gave you the top 10. Was that GQ?
Oh,
was it?
GQ top 10.
Some light. That's why you shop so damn much.
No. I like to dress up a little bit.
No, I can understand that. I can understand.
Like depending on what the the outfit is. If it looks good, then I'm inquiring, see how much it is. Might
not. You're not acquiring anything. Whatever. But I'll tell you what, Rayan. I think that one thing you do know is that Brooklyn will show up for Brooklyn. So that's beyond anything else, everybody's rooting for you. So it's so dope to see a Brooklyn dude in this role. Did you have to do any accent preparation to sound Detroit or anything like that?
You'll hear a little bit of it come out of the Detroit accent because Randy, the showrunner, he was there. So if I say a certain thing, like
it'd be like, now we say it like this.
We saying what up, though, you know what I mean? Or like bright mo, you know what I mean? Like bright mo, you know what I mean? Like that. I would say bright more, you know what I mean? Like gotta be like bright mo.
Interesting. Yeah.
So he will definitely correct me on set and be like, yo, this is how you would say it. So for the most part, I came into it and try to give it like a straight accent versus, not doing no New York, no Brooklyn stuff, but give it the straight tone and
right.
Sprinkling the Detroit for certain words that in Detroit they look at you, bro. That's not how you say it.
That's really interesting. That's quite interesting. You never really think about all the things that go into building a character, or at least those of us that are not actors, So it's interesting to see it, to hear it from you guys.
A lot to go into it. And it ain't easy, especially if you want to be able to pull off the best performance possible. You want to do the research for sure.
It's kind of like when we talk about like those British actors, and they'll be like, "Well, I didn't even know that person wasn't from here." So it's kind of the same thing because those regional accents. Yeah.
I mean, you look at from last season, you look at Lamar, like he's British.
I didn't even realize he was British.
Like, he's British, like what I'm saying. He's Albert British.
Yeah, it's true. No, that's
they pull off our accents easily.
But then they get inundated with like United States television, so I think it's probably easier for them to do it than us the other way around.
They do a lot of extensive training out there too.
Yes, yeah. I mean, and then they tend to be trained in the theater too, so there's a lot more. Different type of acting, the training. Not saying that we aren't either, but there's some people that go the theater route, and there's some people that go the straight television route. You know how it is. You know your people.
I already know. I already know.
But thank you for your time, Rayan.
Thank you
let me close it out for you. Oh, no problem. My name is Koku. Once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I was here with, again, Brooklyn's own Rayan Lawrence, who plays K9, okay, on season 2 of the STARZ hit series BMF. You guys are going to enjoy Rayan. You either going to super love him or you're going to be super hating K9, but he is damn good in this role, and I know it had to have been fun to play because he got to really, really play this polarizing character, and it's like, damn, like all of that, like I would have just had a conversation. Did that person really got to get done like that? You know. But it's really interesting to see the extremes that people will go when, you know, they want things to be a certain way. But again, you know, it's not how I would go about things, but you can see why the decisions were made. Not saying that I would make them. You just get it.
You know, you got to demand some type of respect. But, you know, you got to say, hey, these are consequences. I mean, you see the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Listen, so you know from the start, you don't have my money on time, I'm going to kill you. With a straight face. He ain't laughing. He ain't mad. He ain't rah-rah.
No.
You know.
That's why, and I'm not gonna make a spoiler here, but that's why I'm wondering why Homegirl was playing games with him like that. Cause I'm like, this can't be good.
This ain't life.
This ain't it. You can't be playing them kind of games with them kind of people. No, girl. I don't know what you. That's I'm gonna look at, because I seen his first 3. I'm like, I'm about to see the next episodes and see where that's going for her. Cause I know what I think I know about K9, and that can't be too good.
Might not end well.
It might not end well for her. I'm like, girl, you could have sat home and ate your food, but you chose to do that. Thank you for your time, Rayan. You take care. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye. So silly. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.